It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Respect is not handed out like coins tossed to beggars. It is seized, forged, and defended. Every day you step into a battlefield where the weapon is not steel, but approval, and the enemy is not a single face, but an entire system designed to keep you kneeling. The modern world thrives on validation. You measure yourself against likes, applause, and quick nods of agreement. The danger is subtle. Each time you lean on those signals, you surrender a piece of your throne. When you let others dictate your worth, you are no longer the ruler. You are the servant in your own court. The hidden enemy knows this. Propaganda, advertising, peer pressure, all sharpened to shape your choices. Businesses and governments have long studied human psychology to trigger compliance. They know that if they can make you crave approval, they can control you without force. To fight back, you must recognize the throne within. Respect does not begin in the eyes of others. It begins with your own command over yourself. When you know what you stand for, you no longer chase applause. Imagine your mind as a fortress. If the walls are solid, no external voice can shake them. But if the walls are thin, every whisper penetrates. Strengthen the fortress by choosing your standards, not inheriting them. Define your code, hold it, defend it. In practice, this means simple but sharp action. Stop begging through apology where none is needed. Replace weak phrasing with firm clarity. Weak, sorry, I just think maybe. Strong, here is my position. Weak, do you mind if I? Strong, this is what I will do. Language is armor. If you speak like a supplicant, you will be treated as one. If you speak with clarity, you claim space without aggression. Picture a disagreement at work. Someone dismisses your idea. The untrained response is defense or retreat. The sovereign response is steady presence. You listen, nod once, then calmly state your stance again with conviction. You neither beg nor explode. This quiet control forces respect, because respect is tied to strength of will, not volume of noise. You are not here to kneel, you are here to command. Burn this into your mind. Respect is seized, never begged. Your mind is the throne on which every decision, every command, and every act of self-respect is born. If the throne is weak, the kingdom collapses no matter how tall the walls appear. Respect begins not with the crowd's applause, but with your own mastery of perception. The first law of power is sovereignty over thought. If you cannot command your own mind, you will be ruled by the noise of others. Self-sovereignty is not abstract philosophy, it is practical warfare. When you choose how to frame events, you decide whether you are ruler or captive. Consider how easily perception can be tilted. One insult can ruin a day, one criticism can make you shrink. But when you hold the throne firmly, those words become arrows that break on armor. Control your inner dialogue, replace weakness with strength. Weak, I hope they like me. Strong, I know my value whether they approve or not. Weak, maybe I'm not enough. Strong, I define enough by my standard. The shift is not cosmetic, it is the difference between begging and commanding. Yet even a strong throne faces infiltration. Today's world is an unending siege of voices. Media, peers, and strangers act as spies, slipping into your court. Algorithms track desires, advertisements shape insecurities, and peers project expectations. Each influence tries to seize your perception. If you allow these invasions to plant doubts, you are no longer king of your mind. You become a puppet throne, decorated but hollow. Guard the gates. Limit the constant flood of noise. Command what enters and what is denied. This is not withdrawal from the world. It is defense of sovereignty. Imagine a conversation where someone questions your decision. A reactive mind feels cornered, scrambles for approval, and loses command. The sovereign mind pauses, breathes, and answers with calm conviction. No raised voice, no flinching eyes, just clarity. That calmness is strength. It proves your throne is steady. Respect flows towards steadiness, not desperation. Every morning, you sit on this throne, whether you realize it or not. Some days it is iron, other days fragile wood. You decide which material it will be. Strengthen it by affirming your standards before others. Test them, reinforce it by choosing principles that guide you no matter who agrees. Guard it by refusing to hand control of your worth to strangers. Respect without begging begins here, in the private court of thought, long before you step into public battles. Remember the command that crowns the inner king: rule the mind, or the mind will rule you. Morning is the first battlefield. Before you even rise, the war has begun. The difference between sovereignty and surrender is decided in those opening minutes. History shows that commanders understood the value of the first strike. Armies that moved at dawn often dictated the terms of battle, forcing their opponents to react instead of lead. Your life is no different. The advantage is momentum. When you begin with deliberate action, you create the rhythm others are forced to follow. The enemy is hesitation. If you stall, you lose position. Frame your routine as a warrior's march. Putting on clothes is not dressing, it is donning armor. Preparing food is not eating, it is fueling a campaign. Walking out the door is not commuting, it is entering contested ground. When you interpret ordinary acts through this lens, you elevate them into rituals of command. Respect follows those who carry themselves with discipline. Every march builds authority, and every lapse invites weakness. Do not wait for clarity to arrive later. Strike early. Protect the gates. March forward with ritual strength. The first battle is always the most decisive, and when you claim the morning, the day bends. Burn this into memory. Win the morning, rule the day. Stillness is not absence, it is a weapon. Commanders through history understood that restraint often defeats force. Fabius Maximus, the Roman general, became known as the delayer because he refused to meet Hannibal in open battle. His strategy was patience, wearing the enemy down through time instead of reckless clashes. This principle holds for you. Stillness is a shield. When you wait rather than react, you deny the enemy easy openings. You conserve strength while others waste theirs in noise. In modern life, noise is enemy artillery. It bombards you from the moment you wake. Notifications, chatter, opinions, and endless streams of information scatter your focus like shrapnel across a battlefield. Each distraction may seem small, but the cumulative effect is devastating. Attention is fragmented, energy is drained. You are pulled from your throne of command. When you surrender to constant noise, you are no longer leading. You are being herded. Guard your attention as if it were supply lines in war. Cut it unnecessary alerts. Create pockets of silence, and withdraw from conversations that have no bearing on your purpose. Respect follows the one who does not scramble in every direction, but stands anchored while others scatter. Think of the predator crouching in tall grass. Stillness is not weakness. It is the moment before the strike. The lion that leaps too early starves. The one that waits, invisible and patient, takes its prey with precision. Apply this principle to your decisions. Do not rush to reply when criticized. Do not leap at every opportunity dangled in front of you. Sit, breathe, and let the right moment surface. The patience of stillness transforms reaction into strategy. Imagine a colleague pressing you with a harsh comment. The weak instinct is to snap back, to trade blows instantly. The stronger move is silence. You let the words hang. You study the room, then you respond with measured tone. This calm unsettles more than aggression ever could. It shows that you are not dragged into battles of impulse. You fight only on the ground you choose. Respect grows in the space carved by silence. Stillness sharpens. Stillness positions you for decisive action. Use it not as retreat, but as preparation. The world will demand constant reaction, but your strength is to deny it. Hold your ground. Wait with intent. Then strike when the field favors you. Anchor this in your mind. In stillness, I sharpen the blade. Power is not built by adding endlessly. It is built by cutting. Respect follows the one who eliminates with precision, because nothing signals weakness faster than being burdened by excess. Armies that drag too many supplies into battle are slower, vulnerable, and easily crushed. Leaders who carry trivial obligations collapse under their own weight. The principle is clear: burn what is unnecessary, scorch the earth so distractions can't grow back, and march lighter into every fight. The scorched earth policy has always been brutal, but effective. Retreating forces destroyed fields, bridges, and roads, so enemies had nothing to feed on. Apply this to your life. If constant distractions surround you, you must deny them fertile ground. Cut obligations that drain without return. Stop saying yes to every request. Destroy what wastes your focus. Junk information, shallow commitments, pointless meetings. Each removal is an act of war. Do not ask for permission. Command your territory by subtraction. But often, the enemy hides inside your own ranks. Not every friend is an ally. Some weaken you without malice, pulling you into cycles of mediocrity. Habits masquerade as comfort, but erode your discipline. Beliefs you inherited long ago may no longer serve your purpose. This is sabotage from within. When you act with assassin's precision, the assassin does not swing wildly. One strike, silent and final. You must do the same with habits and ties that corrode your command. Cut them without hesitation. Weak, I'll try to quit someday. Strong, I am finished with this now. Weak, maybe I should avoid them. Strong, I will not share my time with those who sabotage me. Respect is drawn to decisiveness. Hesitation invites contempt. Imagine a colleague constantly mocking your ambition. If you laugh nervously or ignore it, the mockery grows. If you respond with calm clarity, I don't entertain dismissive jokes about my goals, the atmosphere shifts. No anger, no apology, just precision. The assassin's blade is not loud, it is clean. Your life is a campaign. Every soldier, every resource, every belief must serve the march. If it does not, it must be cut away. The ruthless elimination of weakness is not cruelty, it is survival. Etch this command into your mind. Subtract weakness, amplify strength. Respect often flows to the mask before it reaches the man. Command is not simply about who you are in private, but about the face you present in battle. Every great leader understood this. Napoleon crafted an aura of inevitability. He walked among soldiers as if victory already bowed to him. Caesar carried poise that made even rivals hesitate before striking. Churchill's voice during wartime was armor for a nation, shaping perception even when resources were thin. These were not accidents. They were masks deliberately worn, because perception is a weapon that shields as much as it strikes. In the modern world, the battlefield has changed, but the mask remains. Social media has turned life into theater, where avatars and curated images dominate attention. Corporations use posture, tone, and presentation to project authority. You see people bending reality with how they present themselves rather than who they are behind closed doors. To dismiss this as false is naive. Humans are wired to respond to appearances before truth. Respect often begins with the projection, and only later is it confirmed by substance. If you ignore the mask, you surrender the first move on the chessboard. The mask you wear is not deception, it is your banner raised high. The soldier on the field does not carry his true face into combat. He carries armor, symbols, and colors that rally his side and intimidate the other. So must you. A calm posture in meetings, a firm voice when presenting ideas, steady eye contact when challenged. These are pieces of your armor. They do not erase your authentic self. They project it with clarity. Weak, I hope this is okay. Strong, this is the direction I stand by. Weak, nervous laughter after interruption. Strong, pause, silence, then continue without flinching. Consider a situation where someone interrupts you in front of others. If you respond with flustered defensiveness, the room sees weakness. But if you remain still, let the silence weigh, then resume speaking with calm force. You reassert control without raising your voice. This is the mask of command in action. It does not require arrogance. It requires composure displayed with precision. Your respect is not earned solely through your thoughts or intentions. It is carried on the surface signals you choose to display. Build a mask that reflects discipline, not disorder. Wear it until it fuses with your identity. The world will test you. The mask must hold. Remember this law of power. He who controls perception commands respect. Hesitation is death on the battlefield of respect. Excuses pile up like dull weapons, and pity for your own weakness is the first enemy you must eliminate. You assassinate hesitation not with noise but with precision, by cutting through your own delays before they take root. Each time you allow yourself to linger, each time you wait for perfect timing, you surrender the initiative to forces that care nothing for your comfort. To be respected, you must wield the inner blade against the part of you that would rather stay soft. History offers examples of strikes that shifted empires. Brutus, with one knife, ended the reign of Caesar and altered the course of Rome. In espionage, targeted eliminations changed wars without open armies clashing. Precision, not chaos, defines the assassin's craft. These actions are controversial, but the principle is undeniable. One decisive move can reshape an entire field of power. Respect follows those who act when others hesitate. The world may debate morality, but it cannot ignore the outcome of the strike. The assassin within you is not about cruelty. It is about discipline. Think of the inner assassin as the part of you trained to wait in stillness, then act in silence with exact force. Weak, I'll try to start tomorrow. Strong, I begin now. Weak, maybe this isn't the right time. Strong, the time is mine to choose. These shifts in language are not cosmetic. They sharpen the blade within. The assassin lives in words first, then in action. When noise surrounds you, stillness becomes preparation. When excuses whisper, the assassin cuts them mid-sentence. If you allow hesitation to grow, it metastasizes, becoming a habit of surrender. If you train yourself to strike, whether that means ending a draining habit, declining a distraction, or completing a task without delay, you prove to yourself that you command action, not the other way around. Imagine a colleague challenges your decision in public. If you waver, the room smells weak. But if you hold your ground with calm precision, explain your stance in one clear line, and end the debate without defensiveness, you show mastery. That is an assassination of doubt, swift and final. No hostility is needed, only firmness. Your blade is not steel, it is your will. Train it by repetition, sharpen it by cutting hesitation daily, and sheath it only when the decision is complete. The assassin inside you must be loyal to no excuse, no weakness, no delay. Mercy is not weakness, but hesitation is. Strike hesitation before it strikes you. Inside you live two wolves, and the one that dominates is the one you feed. This old parable carries weight because it points to the essence of respect. Discipline. One wolf craves indulgence, comfort and distraction. The other hunts for strength, endures hardship, and commands through self-control. The battle between them is daily, silent and ruthless. You cannot escape it. You can only choose which side you supply. The wolf of weakness is fed by modern indulgences. Endless scrolling, junk food, binge-watching, and empty conversation are its feast. These things disguise themselves as harmless pleasures, even as self-care, but they drain the sharpness of your will. Respect is not built by surrendering to every craving. When you collapse into indulgence, you show the world your leash. A wolf cannot command while chained to its appetites. To be respected, you must be the one holding the chain. The wolf of strength thrives on hunger, not gluttony. It grows from doing what is necessary when you least feel like it. It is sharpened by early mornings, by choosing work over laziness, by silence over noise. This is the predator's diet. Lean, ruthless, essential. You train it when you resist comfort that softens you. You feed it by enduring what others avoid. Weak. I deserve a break after a hard day. Strong. I will rest with discipline, not collapse with excess. Weak. It's just one more episode. Strong. I will close the screen and sharpen the blade. Every choice is a meal. Every act of discipline fattens the wolf that leads. Consider when someone pressures you to join in a wasteful habit, another drink when you've already had enough, another late night when you've chosen discipline. You can refuse with calm confidence, saying simply, "I'm done for tonight." No apology, no over-explaining. The weak wolf apologizes for strength. The strong wolf states boundaries and moves on. Respect follows this kind of firmness because others sense you are ruled by command, not compulsion. The parable is not about morality, it is about survival. The wolf that hunts survives the winter. The wolf that waits for handouts starves. In your life, winter is every trial, every setback, every test of will. Feed the wolf that is prepared for it. Respect is never given to the one who begs. It flows to the one who stands lean and unyielding in the cold. Feed discipline, starve weakness. Life is a chessboard, and every piece reveals its value through position, not pleading. Machiavelli taught that power is secured by strategy and foresight, never by begging. Pawns that crave validation rush forward recklessly and are sacrificed first. Respect is not earned by showing your hunger for it. Respect is maintained by standing in the right square, forcing others to move around you. Power lies in placement. In politics, in business, in daily life, the one who understands positioning commands the game. A pawn that advances with calculation can one day become a queen. A knight that jumps with timing can outmaneuver an entire army, but a piece that moves to please the opponent is lost. You must stop asking the board for permission. You are not there to be liked. You are there to dominate space, to create leverage, and to decide outcomes. In modern arenas, the game continues with new disguises. In corporate halls, promotions are rarely given to the loudest. They are given to those who build quiet alliances, who understand when to advance and when to wait. To live as a grandmaster, you must think 10 moves ahead. Anticipate reactions before they occur. Do not rush to speak, because silence may force the other side to reveal their plan. Do not rush to act, because patience often secures the stronger square. Weak. Do they like me? Strong. How does this move shift the balance of power? Weak. I hope they notice my effort. Strong. I will position myself so they cannot ignore it. When challenged, act like the master, not the pawn. Imagine a colleague questioning your idea in front of others. The pawn defends frantically, searching for approval from the room. The master responds with calm precision, stating facts clearly and then falling silent. That silence becomes pressure, and the challenger exposes their overreach. Respect grows when you act with control, not when you scramble for applause. The chessboard demands clarity. Each day you either hold ground or surrender it. Every decision is a move. Feed the habit of strategic calculation. Stop wasting energy on applause. Focus on positioning your mind, your time, and your alliances so that the board tilts in your favor. Respect does not flow to the desperate. It flows to the one who moves like a master and forces the world to adjust. Play the board, not the applause. Ritual is the forge where your will becomes iron. Without ritual, discipline corrodes and rust spreads across your life. The ancients understood this. Samurai upheld codes that demanded daily acts of precision, from sword practice to the way they bowed, because repetition carved strength into their spirit. Stoic philosophers often wrote each morning, stripping away illusion with ink before they stepped into the world. Spartan youth endured relentless training so that even in weakness, their bodies remembered strength. These rituals were not superstitions. They were armor for the mind. Contrast that with today's soft repetitions, reaching for the phone before you rise, scrolling through feeds in bed, filling silence with noise, filling hours with distraction. These are rituals too, but they are rituals of erosion. They hollow you out. They trade sharpness for dullness. They turn you from a commander into a pawn captured by the board of dopamine loops. Do not underestimate the weight of these small acts. Every repeated indulgence is a chisel against your own fortress wall. If you want to be respected, design rituals that temper your mind like steel under flame. Choose practices that challenge endurance, not comfort. Rise at the same hour and face the silence before the world interrupts. Write down the truth of your thoughts, even when it stings. Train your body not for vanity, but for resilience. Stand tall, breathe deep, move with command. Each act is a hammer strike on the anvil of your will. Discipline is visible to others, even if unspoken. When you refuse the easy path, when you guard your time with structure, people sense it. They feel the edges of your presence. Weak. I'll do it when I feel like it. Strong. I do it because it is my ritual. Weak. I need motivation first. Strong. I rely on discipline, not moods. These shifts matter because language directs posture, and posture directs respect. Imagine someone questioning why you decline certain indulgences. They laugh, saying you are too strict. Do not argue or defend. Respond with calm clarity. I value structure. It keeps me sharp. Then move on. That composure disarms mockery. You do not beg for agreement. You demonstrate authority through consistency. Ritual is not about perfection. It is about proving to yourself daily that you are master of your own blade. Respect follows those who live by code. Without ritual, you become scattered, fragile, forgettable. With ritual, you stand unshaken, even when storms rise. Others may bend to moods, trends, or cravings. You hold your ground because your will has been forged in fire. Discipline is iron, and ritual is the forge. To be untouchable is to move through the battlefield without chains, beyond the reach of those who crave control. Approval seekers bleed themselves dry, but the one who refuses to beg walks as an apex predator. History gives us models. Diogenes lived with nothing and embarrassed rulers by showing he could not be bought. Seneca, though entangled in politics, wrote of inner freedom that no emperor could strip away. Marcus Aurelius sat on the throne of Rome, yet he reminded himself daily that respect is not secured by applause, but by mastery of the self. These figures held power because they stood outside the hunger for approval. In modern life, invulnerability looks different but follows the same law. The worker who does not chase every compliment cannot be manipulated by office games. The creator who does not shape their voice for the algorithm builds a fortress no platform can topple. The leader who can withstand mockery without breaking holds an aura no critic can puncture. People sense when you are untied from their judgments. It unsettles them because most are trapped in the web of needing validation. To walk free is to move like a ghost through their snares. The apex predator does not beg. It takes what is necessary, leaves what is useless, and keeps moving. To reach that form, you must starve the habit of seeking approval. Weak. Do you think this was good? Strong. This is my standard. Weak. Please notice me. Strong. My work speaks. I do not. The difference is not arrogance, but sovereignty. Your energy belongs to you, not to the audience that withholds or grants claps. Becoming untouchable requires ritual armor. Refuse to over-explain. When someone challenges your decision, do not scramble for justification. State your reasoning with calm authority. If they disagree, let the disagreement stand. Imagine telling a colleague, "You will not attend a social outing because you value rest." They push, trying to shame you into compliance. You reply, "Steady, I've set my priority. Nothing more." The strength lies not in crushing their protest, but in refusing to yield your throne of choice. This form of power is not cruel. It is clear, you are not rejecting people, you are rejecting chains. Approval is a leash. Once you detach from it, manipulators lose their grip. They cannot bribe you with praise, nor break you with silence. That is why the apex predator state is rare. It requires you to feed on discipline, not applause. To sustain it, sharpen your inner compass. Define your code so clearly that no shifting wind of opinion can sway you. Anchor respect in action, not reaction. Stand firm in your values whether they draw applause or criticism. If recognition comes, accept it without intoxication. If it does not, continue unshaken. Those who master this stance become difficult to move, like iron fortresses standing in storms. The world will test your boundaries, but if you do not crave approval, you cannot be captured. You become untouchable not by isolating yourself, but by carrying your throne within. Others may hunt approval like prey. You walk past, apex, calm, impossible to chain. Respect is won by those who need nothing. It is better to be impetuous than cautious, for fortune is a woman, and it is necessary, if you wish to master her, to conquer her by force. All 10 principles converge here. The mask, the battlefield, the chessboard, and the throne are not separate lessons. They are weapons forged into a single arsenal. Each piece alone is useful, but together they form an empire of command. You are no longer the soldier reacting to blows. You are the sovereign predator who dictates the tempo of war. History shows that respect is never gifted. It is extracted through presence and consistency. The Stoics carved fortresses in the mind. Samurai hardened themselves through ritual. Statesmen like Marcus Aurelius governed not by craving applause, but by embodying composure in chaos. These examples are not fragments, they are pillars that reveal a pattern. Mastery of self precedes mastery of others. In modern life, the battlefield has changed, but the principles hold. Approval is the new currency, traded cheaply in clicks. likes and shallow affirmations. Many bend their spine to chase it. But when you stop chasing, you become untouchable. The professional who does not yield to gossip gains respect. The creator who does not dilute their voice for applause builds a legacy beyond trend cycles. The leader who does not shrink under criticism becomes magnetic, because people sense a throne within that cannot be toppled. Integration is the first law of sovereignty. Discipline without strategy is brittle. Strategy without will collapses. Will without ritual rusts. You have learned to sharpen language, to command tension, to wield masks, to hold your throne. Now combine them. Each principle is a sword, but only when carried in one hand do they form an empire. The empire within is stronger than any external crown. If you rely on applause, you are a tenant on another's land. When your throne is firm inside, applause is decoration, not foundation. That is how respect becomes tribute rather than charity. Weak. Do you approve of me? Strong. I stand by this decision. Weak. I need recognition. Strong. My standard does not bend. Respect flows to the one who refuses to crawl for it. The transformation into a sovereign predator is not loud. It is silent, like a shadow across the battlefield. Predators do not beg prey to surrender. They take what is theirs through presence, precision, and certainty. You must cultivate the same posture. Speak less, command more, yield nothing essential. Accept conflict without fear. Imagine you present a decisive choice in a meeting. Someone challenges you, expecting retreat. You do not argue frantically. You listen, weigh, and then state, I understand your view, but the path stands. Calm, final, unmoved. Disagreement handled with composure builds more respect than endless attempts to please. Your sovereignty is not domination of others. It is domination of self. No applause, no insult, no manipulation sways the throne inside. That is why those who achieve it appear untouchable. They move as apex predators, feared by some, respected by many, chained by none. This is the convergence. You are no longer practicing isolated maneuvers. You are the strategist who plays the whole board, the sovereign who holds the crown, the predator who moves without hesitation. The journey was never about begging for approval. It was about becoming the kind of presence that makes approval irrelevant. Respect crowns the one who kneels to nothing. Respect is never begged for. It is seized through sovereignty, forged by ruling yourself first. The battlefield is eternal, and the war you fight most often is not against rivals or critics, but against hesitation, doubt, and the urge to please. Each time you cut down one of those weaknesses, you add another stone to your throne. Every private victory becomes a weapon in public, because others can sense when a person has won the harder war within. Self-growth is not comfort. It is campaign after campaign, with no permanent truce. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself daily, as if preparing for battle, sharpening his mind against weakness. That discipline is why his throne was never owned by applause. Your warpath is similar. You rise, you fight, you claim ground, then you rise again tomorrow and do it once more. The throne you build inside becomes a citadel no critic can breach. Now comes the call to action. Stop begging, stop bending, stop waiting for permission to stand tall. Weak. Will they like this? Strong. This aligns with my standard. Weak. I hope they approve. Strong. I deliver what I command. Respect flows to the one who does not beg for it, because begging signals dependency. The sovereign predator never asks to be crowned. He stands on the battlefield until others recognize his crown as fact. When you face resistance, hold your ground with calm leadership. Imagine a colleague dismissing your idea. Instead of scrambling for their favor, You respond with composure. I hear your concern, but the decision stands. No anger, no pleading, only authority contained within your tone. That posture turns opposition into tribute. The oath is simple. Rule yourself, and respect follows as tribute. Repeat it as warriors once repeated vows before stepping into combat. It is not decoration, it is armor. Each word binds you to the discipline of sovereignty. Say it until it becomes your marrow. Say it until no voice outside can sway the throne inside. You are not here to ask. You are here to rule. You are not here to chase. You are here to command. Stand on your throne, sharpen your will, and carry the mantra as your final weapon. Rule yourself, and respect follows as tribute.